Great to talk Phillies baseball and more with this guy. You know him from the Ike, Spike, and Fritz show, afternoons on 94 WIP, the High Hopes podcast he hosts with James Seltzer, and now, believe it or not, as the co-author of a book about Phillies baseball, of course, Ring the Bell. He wrote that with Kevin Reevey. Let's welcome back to Philly Press Box Radio, Jack Fritz. Hey, Jack.
I feel like that's the reaction that everyone has when they plug the book is
Jack wrote a book.
It is good to be here again, Jack. Good to be here.
Jack, it's been 11 months since your last visit with us, believe it or not. You joined us right after the Mets ended the Phils season in the NLDS last October. So now with 2.5 weeks left in the 2025 season, a 9-game lead over the Mets, but some injury concerns for 3 key guys. How are you feeling about this year's Phils in terms of a deep postseason run?
Well, I bet the mood of this podcast is going to be a little different than the last one we did. I'm sure that if I know me like I think I know me, it was probably a despondent version. And
Yes.
It's funny. I obviously feel way different about them than I did, and they have pretty much answered every single test that we have put in front of them. You know, it was, you only beat up on bad teams. Well, that's not really true. They've been really good against pretty much everyone. They haven't had that like super soft spot in the schedule. Dathan Browse, go have a good trade deadline. He had a great trade deadline. Rob Thompson, you got to be more aggressive. You can't just kick your feet up and let your stars be your stars. Like you gotta manage. He's been way more aggressive this year. The Castellanos thing is a good example of that. Trey Turner, use the entire field, be a high OBP guy, steal some bags. They've faced adversity, and the Wheeler thing was a big loss, but one that I think is turning out to be maybe a rallying cry for this team.
Yeah.
So I just think that they're in a really good spot. They still have their moments of playing really dumb baseball, which is infuriating. But on the overall grand scheme of things, they're just playing really good baseball. They got a lot of things going in their direction. They're having a magical season from Kyle Schwarber. They have a real closer now. Like I'm trying not to get ahead of myself because we know that's baseball. I know that it's October, but I certainly feel they have some World Series kind of vibes to them. I felt similar in 23, because 23 was magical in the second half after the ovations, and they were damn near unbeatable until until they went to Arizona. So I feel really, really good about them. They've got a lot of things going in their favor, and now they just got to end it.
The injuries to Turner and Bohm most recently were troubling, certainly, not to mention the Zach Wheeler one, which you already did cite. But what was great to see was Aaron Nola the other night, finally looking like the Aaron Nola that we got so used to over the last several years. Where will he fit in the postseason? Might he still be a second or third starter, or is it still too soon to say that?
Well, the nice part is that they have, like, every single one of those guys has stepped up with Wheeler going out. Luzardo's been great. Ranger's been unbelievable. It was fantastic last night. And I mean, his ERA, I think, since the Wheeler injury is under 1. He just basically snapped his fingers and turned into first half Ranger. So it's almost like Nola still has to do it. I'm not just like, hey, you're our number 2 starter. Hey,
right.
I wouldn't even say right now he's our number 3 starter. Mm-hmm. Like if I had to start a playoff game right now, unless you get worked up about having 3 straight lefty starters and you want to break up the lefties, okay. I just want my best pitchers pitching. But that start was encouraging from the standpoint of he's going to have to start a playoff game if they go to the NLDS or the NLCS or the World Series, and having a guy with the experience that he has and the contract that he has is certainly a pretty nice luxury to have. So it was a good step in the right direction, but I'm definitely not getting ahead of myself with Knowles, because we know his next time out, he can go right back into a 5-inning, 5-run effort.
Well, Jack, as we speak Wednesday at about midday, we've only seen Harrison Bader one time in the leadoff spot, but I got to tell you, with Turner out, I really like Bader there at the top of the order. You?
Well, listen, if he's going to go 3 for 4 and hit a home run every single time at the leadoff spot, I'll take it. But I've been impressed with his on-base skills since he got here. I mean, heading into yesterday, he had a 390 OBP. And the thing that I do like about him hitting leadoff is I do think he provides a nice little spark to start a game. Now, my modern baseball mindset would say that I want to get the best hitters in the team the most at bats. Well, he's been one of the best hitters in the team. So, like, while he's hot, it's not the worst thing in the world getting a guy with the spark that he brings at the top of the lineup and just let him kind of set a tone early. I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't just put Schwarber back in there. I wonder what the thought process is there. Because when he went down, I was like, well, obviously let's put Schwarber back up there. And then they tried Bryce for one game. I don't know if Bryce was a huge fan of hitting leadoff, and then maybe Bader kind of takes the job and runs with it while Trey is out. I am curious as to why they didn't just put Schwarber back there. Is that not wanting him to get comfortable at the top of the lineup again and let him just feel where he's been the entire year, which is hitting 2? Like, maybe that's what it is. But I was surprised they didn't just put Schwarber back at the 1 spot.
Well, we all loved the Joan Duran acquisition 6 weeks ago. How do you feel right now about the Phillies bullpen overall?
Well, the nice part is that they're really kind of rounding into form minus Orion Kerkering. Like, if they can get now Kerkering, he does this seemingly once a year where for some reason he just has a couple brain farts in the middle of the season and ends up being okay. I do have questions about him in October, because he does kind of look like lights might be too bright for him kind of guy. Now his first postseason, I'm not going to hold that against him. He went 5 levels in 1 year. We don't have to vilify Ryan Kerkering for maybe struggling a little bit as a 22-year-old, 23-year-old. Last year wasn't great, and then in some spots this year, with the inherited runners thing, where it's like 14 of 30 have scored, that's not a good trend. Besides him, though, Strom's picked it up. I think he's got like a .80 ERA in his last 12, 13 outings. David Robertson's been a godsend, just being able to sign a guy rather than to give up prospects, and he's pitching to an ERA around 2. I know he's definitely prone to allow an absolute tank shot because it'll just hang a curveball and major league hitters won't miss it. But overall, he's been really, really good. So I feel really good about where the bullpen is. Tanner Banks, I don't know where this team would be without Tanner Banks. He's been phenomenal, and so I like where the bullpen is. It seems like it's rounding into form at the right time, and it's another one of these things that is trending in the Phillies' direction as we head down the stretch run.
And as for Duran himself, I mean, he's been a little shaky at times. He's not the lights out guy all the time that we thought he would be, but still pretty darn good.
Yeah, listen, I'm surprised at some of the contact he gives up. He's one of those guys that seems like his 100 is hittable, which is crazy, given that 100 used to be like rarefied air for these guys. But at the same time, I think that he's a bit pitch to contacty, but I do think that when he wants to get strikeouts, he'll get strikeouts. I think he's just trying to get the game over with, and it's still. I think he's allowed 1 home run. I don't know if he's allowed a home run to a lefty this entire year. It's still hard to take him out of the ballpark. You got to kind of paper cut him to death, like death by 1,000 paper cuts, like the Mets did in that one game. So I think he's still really tough to score on. But I agree with you. It's certainly not all the strikeout stuff that I think you thought you were getting. But at the same time, he's 4th in baseball history in save percentage. So I think there is my point, I guess, is that I think there's a method to the madness when it comes to not always going for the strikeout and swing and miss stuff.
All right. Okay. Ring the bell. I just did. It's not only a great lager from Conshohocken Brewery, it's also the title of a book right there. There it is. You and Kevin Reevey wrote it. Tell us about the book. Plug the signing you'll have this weekend at that aforementioned brewery.
Well, I'll tell you what, that photo looks like two dads with young kids at home.
And it is.
Looking tired. Yeah, so we'll be at Conshohocken Brewing Company in King of Prussia on Saturday from 2 to 4. So we'll have books there. We'll be selling books, signing books, whatever you want personalized in there. We'll personalize it for you.
What kind of book is it? Tell us about the book.
So I guess the best way to explain it is that for the super diehard Phillies fans, you're going to take a trip down memory lane, and it's a super easy kind of fun read that is going to make you laugh. It's going to make you cry, and it's going to make you mad. It's going to make it's going you're going to feel all three of those emotions come flying back in as you relive some of these moments. So Kevin is a much better writer than me, way more whimsical. He's able to use all the big words. I'm a nuts and bolts guy. I'm just I write how I talk. So it's like two different kind of styles, but to me, it's a fun encyclopedia. I don't think it's not like a boring, like on this day in 1984, the Phillies, like it's none of that. It's written with emotion. It's written from our heart. And one of the things that I think we kind of said was it's a love letter to the franchise. Like, we love the Phillies, and I guess this is our way of kind of professing that love. So I think if you read it, I think you'll have fun. It's not a hard read. It's pretty simplistic, but now that it's done, it was a lot of fun to write. In the process of writing it, being up at 5 a.m. every day for like 3 months so that I could get it done before Walker got up. If you asked me then, I would have said, what a mistake. But now that it's done, it is I'm very, very happy with it.
All right. And you can get this book also via Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or maybe out of the trunk of Jack's car. Who knows? Jack, we're running out of time. So in our final minute, let's do 3 and out on the Eagles. Number 1, why are you so hesitant to call Jalen Hurts a great quarterback?
Because I just he's fine. He's perfectly fine. I just see other quarterbacks be able to throw the ball down the field and throw receivers open, and it feels like the Eagles offense is mostly in quicksand. For the amount of talent they have on offense, I think that they should be better. They win with him, but I don't think it's because of him. I think they win mostly because the team is a pretty damn near juggernaut. Now, maybe the defense changes that up this year. They might not be as great, but I think he wins, but that's a product of mostly the team.
Number 2, did the league handle the Jalen Carter Spitgate properly?
I mean, the idea of that he was already suspended for the game feels a little ridiculous. I was surprised that he didn't get suspended, especially because some of the penalties in week 1, they always like to try to overemphasize things early, and then as the season goes on, they just change. I do wonder if the Eagles, wanting to send a message here, maybe they take actions into their own hands. It's probably a series or two rather than the whole game. Yeah. But I certainly I would not have been surprised if he got suspended for 1 game. So, but good for the Eagles. He's going to be out there against the Chiefs, most likely.
Number 3, Eagles Chiefs this Sunday out in KC. Who wins and why?
I think it's the Chiefs. I mean, it's a pretty desperate spot for them. I don't think Mahomes has ever lost 3 straight. They're going to view last year's Super Bowl as a revenge spot. Now, at the same time, that game also could have broke the Chiefs. I don't think they looked great against the Chargers. I thought that now Mahomes has little special moments, but there was also a lot of fighting on the defensive side in that game, which made me feel pretty good. So feels like a tight one, but one in which I do think the Chiefs come out on top. And like Elliot said, it's an acceptable loss. It's okay. It's a tough spot in the schedule. It's a tough spot in the schedule.
Okay. We scheduled this little chat a couple of weeks ago because this was supposed to be the day after you finished off Joe DeCamara in basketball to take that best of 5 competition. Of course, it didn't happen. Joe's got some sort of silly foot injury or something. Is this ever going to happen? Come on, Jack.
I don't know. I mean, I was ready to play, excited to play. And at this point, I guess we'll probably check back in Christmas. He's like, I'm going to miss 2 to 3 months. But then there's also going to have to be a ramp-up period for him because he's not going to just get back out there. This thing's never going to end. It's never going to end. It's never going to end. We should just push it to next summer at this point. Just push it to next summer. We got a Super Bowl to win and we got a World Series to win. We don't need to hear about the stupid basketball competition anymore.
There you go. Always great to talk with this guy. Follow him on X at Jack Fritz WIP. Listen to him on the radio. Go to his podcast, High Hopes, and buy his book, Ring the Bell. Thanks, Jack.
Of course. Anytime, Jack.